All right.
Hey everybody.
I'm Hayde Smith.
I'm Mariah Johnson.
Matt Rumbly and dearly beloved Scott, our bass player.
And we're foreign trade. I got started in foreign trade with Matt. We've been playing music for a little while. And decided to...
Not too little of a while.
Yeah, we've been playing music for a couple months at least. Like a year, maybe. And we just started writing something different. And then Scott ended up... it was a big story. But Scott ended up coming back to Melbourne. And we hooked up with him. We needed a bass player. And we just started jamming. And then wrote a couple songs. And that's how we started as a band.
We always needed another guitar player, and our friend who was kind of hanging out this summer, we were trying to play some shows in Melbourne, filled in for a little while, and we never really had a third or a fourth member. And the CD we were recording, like all the lead guitar riffs and stuff I'd written, but we couldn't really perform live, and Mariah came in.
I mean, we had a guitar player. We had a fourth guitar player for a while, but anytime we would do anything like promoting wise, it was still just the three of us, me, Matt, and Scott.
Yeah.
We never promoted another player, and then once Mariah was in the band, we were like, okay, Mariah's awesome. So
if she wasn't awesome,
she would be sitting back there.
Not even close to getting in the band. I don't know. I would just say our sound's pretty unique, just because we all bring something different to it. It's kind of surfy, kind of like 80s influences.
Matt uses the word a lot, like organic, especially for the band. When we talk about band stuff, it just kind of, I don't know. A lot of bands have they have music or whatever like that, but they don't really have their sound. And I think, once we got Mariah, like it all kind of just just came together. And like, oh, this is what we're gonna make, and then we stick in that little area. I mean, we branch out a decent amount, but I think the thing that separates us most is just how different music styles we all have. When they come together, they make a weird... I like it. It's pretty cool. Mine was... There's like a little story behind it. I lived in Boston. I lived in Boston, and we had to go to Atlanta and play. And I was leaving the next 2 days. In 2 days, I was leaving to come back home to Florida. So I booked a flight, flew to Jacksonville, stayed the night. Next day, we drove to Atlanta, played a show. Went to bed at like 4. My flight was at 6. Woke up, flew out back to Boston, loaded up the big van, and drove that day back down to Florida. So I made Boston to Florida, Boston and back in 3 days.
Let's see. I think my favorite experience was the first time I played Shantytown, because it was pretty crazy. Like, I think that was our first show that we played together that we weren't mic'd. And it was like really raw, and we were like
straight rock and roll,
2 inches from like the audience, and it was really like
I had the mic like on the floor.
on the floor. It was really personal, but everybody there was feeling it. It was, I don't know.
That's what kicked in my
people were
drums.
dancing. I was like, that was our first like really pretty rowdy show. And
we like our shows really rowdy.
That place is
like get really rowdy at our
That place
shows.
is like as big as a closet, so
yeah.
It's like as big as this room.
A really big walk-in closet. That's the size of a bar. For me, the most memorable thing was the fight that broke out at this bar that we play at sometimes in Melbourne. I told you about this, I think, before. We were playing one of our songs, Mighty Ducks, and this super drunk guy came up on stage. And this was memorable for me because it was the first time that ever happened, like being the singer and stuff, like singing the song, and then it's like 300-pound biker dude came up and he like nudged me off the mic and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was just like, okay. But, like everybody in the crowd was like into it and stuff, and then he started yelling, and then I like tried to politely nudge him off, and he went into the crowd and started a fight with one of our friends, Jess, and I think she kicked his ass.
Yeah, they were on the floor rolling around and stuff, and Matt just looked at me and I was like, just keep playing.
Yeah.
And so it just made it even more heavy. We're just
Yeah, it felt interesting.
It's our heaviest song.
Yeah, and it's like our
that was the
heaviest song.
heaviest
It was
moment.
And we all make mistakes, but you